Right now, let's turn our attention back to the royals. Prince Harry had been planning to talk about whether or not Prince Harry could lose his US visa after concerns, which have now been raised in a US court next week, that he may not have been completely honest about his drug use when he applied for his US visa, even though he'd been very honest about it, some might say too honest, in his memoir Spare. But now he's all over the front pages once again. The Sun says that a source close to Harry and Meghan have said that they are going to stop making their tell-all Netflix documentary and publishing moaning memoirs. I'm asking you about all of that this morning. What's your reaction? Do you believe them? Do you think they'll be able to do it? You can text me at 87222 and you can tweet me at TalkTV. Let's get the thoughts of Rupert Bell, royal correspondent. Good morning to you, Rupert.
Good morning. And actually, the two stories that you've mentioned, I think they are linked a bit, because the reason being his exposing of his life in these books and Netflix documentary as one of the reasons it's led to this freedom of information request. By babbling and spilling all, he's left himself vulnerable to these kind of attacks. So it's better for him to put up and shut up. And that's probably, they're now realizing that that's the best plan of attack going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is absolutely fascinating, though, that I mean, goodness me. I mean, we don't want them to stop talking because, I mean, you'd lose your livelihood at this rate, wouldn't you? I mean, we can't just talk about what Kate's new dress looks like, which is on the front page of the papers every day. But it is extraordinary, though, isn't it? This idea that, they could actually just stop making all these documentaries. Again, there was a lot of talk. They wanted to leave public life. They were leaving Britain because they didn't want the media intrusion. They wanted some privacy. And then all they did was invade their own privacy and the privacy of the royal family, including, the current king and the future king, his brother, Prince William, private conversations taking place about really private things that we would never know about unless one person in the room talked about it. Do you think they are even capable of shutting the hell up?
You'd hope so. But there will be times, if he does his Invictus documentary, which I think, again, is all very laudable and probably correct, it's a really good cause that he's got behind. So we might see him in front of the camera from that. But I hope they are suitably chastened by the reaction that both Netflix documentary and indeed the book has had to great swathes of the public, not only in this country but in America, that actually it's left them struggling to know how to move the brand forward, because they want all the trimmings of being the Sussexes, but the trappings of the royal family absolutely has what caused them the problem. So they've left themselves in a bit of a pickle, and unless they can produce good documentaries, good films, which is a very hard thing to do. Yeah. It's going to be not easy.
Can I throw this out there? They have no skills at all in this area. They are not trained. They don't come with a background in this. I mean, he's semi-educated. Who are we kidding? I mean, she worked as an actress and not a very good one. She wasn't the executive producer of Suits, for goodness sake. I mean, she was just not a very good actress in Suits. And this is the thing. What skills do they have? And also, how much money do they need? Because fundamentally, no one wants to watch a documentary that they've made. They want to watch a documentary about them. We know those do big numbers. That six-part they did, it was compulsive watching. It was all everyone was talking about at the time. Even my mum, who never watched something like that, watched it. And those are stories that came out of that, and that's how they make their money. At the end of the day, they live a multi-millionaire lifestyle. They need multi-millions coming in every year.
Yes, and they've got to make sure that whatever they do, their product is good. And we know it's not easy. Why do you think Netflix have been cancelling drama series? Yeah. They don't get the numbers, then their things are binned. So it's not it's a competitive business, and they've got to make sure that they surround themselves with the best people, but that comes at a huge cost. So they are in a very difficult situation. But this is always going to be the situation. How do they make sure that they can produce good content? Is it indicative? Maybe James Corden and Prince Harry have been getting together recently. Maybe they're up to something, because we do know that James Corden can produce good content. And so maybe
popular content,
getting them involved.
Anyway. Let's get back to the visa issue, though, because this whole case involves the revelations that he made about pretty extensive drug use when it comes to in his memoir Spare, and he, cocaine, magic mushrooms. I mean, pretty much everything. But of course, when you apply for a visa visa to arrive in the United States and to live in the United States, you have to declare any criminal activity. He clearly did, actually. It was criminal activity. The question is whether on his visa he was open about that. If he's lied on his visa, then he could have his visa withdrawn on a technicality. We've got an American think tank basically saying, let's look into this, please. And they're going to go to court against the American government extraordinarily to ask for basically to see the visa application. And visa applications have been published before.
Well, yes, and then this is because he then spilled all in his book.
Yeah.
That's why. Because he admitted to drug use and of varying types, that has left him vulnerable to this kind of thing. Clearly, there's an element of politics behind this as well. So let's, and he's caught in the middle of this by his actions, by not, by deciding that he has to have a tell-all memoir, and he tells all, and now look what's happening. He's in the news again.
Yeah.
So this is the problem, why it is basically linked to my initial point. He needs to shut up so that he doesn't leave himself vulnerable to these kind of things. There is no chance that he's going to be booted out of the country.
No, that's the thing. He'll be on some special super-duper VIP visa, won't he? Rupert Bell, I know we're going to be talking more about this and more about those sodding people for goodness knows how long. Royal Correspondent, thank you very much. Very quick word from Alan Tolhurst. They won't shut up, will they?
No, and I agree with Rupert. They're not going to get kicked out, but it is interesting that they often get themselves into trouble with things that they say, and Meghan on her podcast got herself into trouble with things that then got found out to not be true or be a different recollections did vary.
They vary. I mean, it's almost like they're not as clever as they think they are, just going out there on a limb.